Here we are. Another week in 2016, another episode. Well, there is a breakthrough coming in this 2017 decision between the new decision come. Well, he's not Lachie Brown deciding which Melbourne club he'll be going to in 2017 or he wants to stay at the Crows. A new competition is on the way. A new arrival will be on the way in 9 months for the AFL. And that is the AFL women's competition. It'll be as the 18 clubs in the men's league as up until this round to place a bid for a licence. As the AFLW will be preferring 4 clubs from Victoria, 1 from New South Wales, Queensland, South Australia and Western Australia for the upcoming women's season. The teams that are placing their bids in for at the moment, we've got Adelaide, Brisbane, Carlton, Collingwood, Fremantle, Geelong, Giants, Melbourne, North Melbourne, Richmond, Saints, Eagles and Dogs have all put in their bids. Well, the only teams who have not put in a bid yet are the Gold Coast Suns, Port Adelaide, Essendon, Hawthorn and the Swans. As Port Adelaide, Hawthorn, Essendon and Sydney, well, they want to build their women's programs from scratch first, before they may potentially come in, say, maybe 10 years' time. Future elite AFL women's ruckman Matilda Schultz, if you're watching this episode, well, if Port Adelaide don't get a bid in by 2022, well, you may end up playing for the Crows, or maybe another club, depending on when the women's drafting actually becomes national. Anyways, enough about the AFL women's. Let's get back to normal service. As we go to look back at round 5, Friday night at the MCG, Hawthorn and Adelaide. Oh my days. How many free kicks is that from Hawthorn? That's the 3rd week in a row it's happened. First the Bulldogs, then the Saints, and now it's against the Crows. How are they getting away with this? I don't understand. I don't get it. In this game, Scott Thompson's had 33 disposals and 20 handballs. Hawthorn's best is Isaac Smith with 20 and a goal. Anyways, to the goal scorers. 5 for Paul Piopolo, 4 for Cyril, 3 for it, 2 for Cecily, and that's about it for Hawthorn. As for Adelaide, Eddie Betts with 3, Tex with 2, Mitch McGovern, Jared Lyons, Tom Lynch and Josh Jenkins with 2 each. For Hawthorn, well, the odds are looking good for them to win 4 in a row. As for Adelaide, they might still go out there and contend for the flag. Sydney and West Coast at the SCG. What a win by the Swans. They played really good in this game. Won by 39 points against the disappointing Eagles. And this is Lewis Jenner's first game back at the SCG since leaving the Sydney Swans. Oh my days, how poor was he? He was really poor against his old side. This was a bit of a rain fest in this game at the SCG. Willock Parker played really good in this game, 25 disposals, 435 in-line clearances, 20 and 2 goals for Tom Papley. West Coast best player was Andrew Gaff with 32 touches and 430 metres gained. Let's look at the goal kickers. Papley with 2, McVeigh with 2, Buddy Franklin with 2 for the Swans. He kicked 5 behinds. If he kicked straight, he would have got 7. Josh Kennedy was the only multiple goal kicker for the Eagles with 2 goals. Sydney, they're looking primed to win it, to contend for another flag. That's for West Coast. Build a Subiaco Oval in every state. Gold Coast versus North Melbourne at Metricon Stadium. It's been another solid effort for the Kangaroos. Best player in this game was Nick Dalsano, 28 disposals and a behind. He's kind of playing like he's 2009 Nick Dalsano again. Todd Goldstein, 18 disposals, 24 hitouts and 2 goals. Gold Coast best player was actually youngster named Peter Wright, 17 and 3. He's got a bright future ahead of him. Anyways, for the goal kickers in this match, other than Peter Wright, the only other multiple goal kicker for the Suns was Tom Lynch. He kicked 4. Also in this game, I think we got Ben Brown kicking 4, Sean Higgins 3, Jared Waite 2, Lindsay Thomas with 2 goals, Drew Petrie 2, and we already mentioned Todd Goldstein's 2 goals. Well, if North Melbourne's women's team are going to play like this in the future, oh, watch out for the North Melbourne Football Club. They're going to be a very good club. This could be the club that could attract Crows forward Lachlan Brown. Western Bulldogs versus Brisbane at Etihad Stadium. The Lions have played pretty good in the first quarter, and after that the Western Bulldogs ran away with it to win by 53 points. Kobe Stevens. Well, the bot's still developing. Starting to get better. But other midfielders like Kobe Stevens, Lachie Hunter, and even Mitch Wallace have been stepping up. Kobe Stevens with 34 disposals and a point and 23 handballs. 33 in a goal for Mitch Wallace. Brisbane's best player was Dane Zorko with 21 disposals and 2 goals and 107 points in fantasy. Other goal kickers, Jake Stringer with 3 for the Dogs. Toby McLean, Tom Liberatore, Tory Dixon, Luke Dalhouse and Marcus Bontempelli have kicked 2 each for the Dogs. Ryan Lester was the only other multiple goal kicker in this game for Brisbane with 2 goals. Port Adelaide versus Geelong at Adelaide Oval. Another dour patch for the Power. They were looking pretty good in the first half. That second half, it was all Geelong. In this match, well, Travis Boak, he's been kind of keeping a bit silent about the the game in China, as he's been kind of getting chased by David Koshi. And yet their best player that game was Ollie Wines. 24 disposals, 2 goals and 10 tackles. For Geelong, their best player was Joel Selwood, 28 disposals, 11 clearances, a goal, and 134 fantasy points. Anyways, on to the goal kickers. Daniel Menzel actually got his kicking boots on, kicking 3 goals. 2 to Lincoln McCarthy, Shane Kirsten, and Patrick Dangerfield. Charlie Dixon kicked 3 this game for the Power, and that's about it for multiple goal kickers of Port. Also to note in this game, well, Chris Scott had a bit of a heated argument with Hamish Hartlett, as Hamish Hartlett didn't really listen to Chris Scott's words. Saints and the Giants at at Etihad Stadium on Sunday. It's been a great game for GWS, winning by 47 points. Toby Green, 31 disposals, 4 goals, 607 metres gained, 141 fantasy points. And another great one from Heath Shaw. Saints best player, Nick Greenwald, 25 disposals, 11 marks and 4 goals. Off to the multiple goal kickers. Jeremy Cameron kicked 5 in this game. Stevie J kicked 4 for the Giants as well. Other multiple goal kickers for St Kilda, 2 to Savage, 2 to Shane Savage, 2 to Josh Bruce. Fremantle versus Carlton at Subiaco Oval. Somebody call the police. The Fremantle fraud squad's at it again. Absolute frauds. The Dockers, 9-5. 1 minute they were minor premiers, and next minute they're absolute frauds. Thirty-two disposals and 393 metres gained for Michael Barlow. He's their standout player. Lachie Neal, 35 disposals and a point. Man, what a poor game that was for some unknown posing as Hayden Ballantyne. 4 disposals and a point. A 29 metres gained. Absolute poor performance. Absolute poor performance for the fake Hayden Ballantyne. Where's the real version? Anyways, in this game, Daisy Thomas kicked 3 for the Blues, 2 to Liam Jones. Michael Walters and Hayden Crozier are the only other multiple goal kickers for Freo. Absolute disappointment. And I thought you were better than that, Fremantle. Anyways, we move on to Melbourne and Richmond at the MCG. 33-point win for Melbourne. Well, Alex Ranson's in trouble. He's been suspended for, well, basically tripping over Jack Watts. Max Gawn had another great game. 18 disposals, 47 hit-outs and 2 goals. Given the free votes. Jack Viney, 37 disposals. Don Tyson, 31 and 2. 32 and a point and 10 clearances. And that was Trent Cotchin's game, and he was Richmond's best player. In this game, Jeff Garlett with 4 goals. Jack Watts with 3. Bernie Vitz with 3 for Melbourne. Don Tyson has also kicked 2. As for Richmond, Vickery with 3. Rewalt with 3. And Sam Lloyd with 3. And now we move on to the Monday. Collingwood and Essendon at the MCG. No Travis Clyke? No problem. Collingwood by 69 points. Essendon, they were absolutely poor in this Anzac game. Yes, I know you've had a rough pre-season, but what was that? 33 and 4 from still side bottom. Well, give that man, he should have won. I'm going to check to see who won the 2016 at the Anzac Medal this year in 2016. It was actually still side bottom. What a performance for his, what an Anzac Medal performance for him. 32 disposals from Treloar, 35 and a point from Pendlebury. Big Jack Crisp had somewhat of a good game. Other goal kickers for Collingwood, Alex Fasolo with 4, Jared Blair with 3, Darcy Moore 2, Jeremy Howe 2, Levi Greenwood with 2. As for Essendon, well, Erasio Fantasia kicked 2, and it's a top-up wearing number 54 kicked 2 goals in this game. Played for Hawthorn 6 years and got delisted after 3 games. Sam Grimley. Well, maybe Essendon might really be his calling. Anyways, now we move on to the ladder after round 5. There's no stopping North Melbourne. 5 from 5. Western Bulldogs, Sydney, Geelong and Hawthorn have all won 4 and lost 1. Fremantle, GWS, Gold Coast and West Coast are 3 and 2, just inside the 8, while Adelaide and Melbourne, same record but out of the 8 on percentage. Collingwood and Port Adelaide 11th and 12th, 2 and 3. St Kilda, Richmond, Carlton, Brisbane and Essendon have won 1 game out of 5. Bottom of the ladder is Fremantle. I don't even want to mention them after that dreadful performance they put up against Carlton. Well, time to see your local flight centre agents Fremantle, because the lowest airfare's guaranteed. Anyways, now we move on to round 6. Friday night, North Melbourne and the Bulldogs at Etihad Stadium. Both teams lining up for AFL women's bids. I reckon North Melbourne will get up in a classic by 2 points. Melbourne and St Kilda at Etihad Stadium. Finally! The debut of Christian Petrarca. I reckon he should be able to go well on debut. I reckon Melbourne will get the job done over the Saints by probably 29 points. Adelaide and Fremantle at Adelaide Oval. I reckon the Crows will get it done by about 37 points. Hang on, I'll probably give them a 60-point win after the way Freo played last week. GWS and Hawthorn at Spotless Stadium. Yes, this was spotless back then. For this game, I reckon the Giants will get it done by 25 points. Geelong versus Gold Coast at Simmons Stadium. Cats by 110 points. Richmond versus Port Adelaide at the MCG. No rants, no Richmond, no party. Port Adelaide by 27 points. Brisbane versus Sydney at the Gabba. I reckon the Swans will get over the line by 41 points. Carlton and Essendon at the MCG. Blue Baggers by 21 points. West Coast versus Collingwood at Subiaco Oval. West Coast Eagles by 94 points. That's it for this episode, and we'll run it back soon for round 7.